pair of Dak touchdowns through the air and on the ground brought it within 2 points. Then came the onside kick that the Falcons watched dribble 10 yards, and the Cowboys jumped on. And Dak connected with CeeDee Lamb on a 30-yard pass to put Dallas deep in Atlanta territory to hit the game-winning field goal as time expired. So it was an emotional game. Skip, as a Cowboy fan, are you encouraged or discouraged by what you saw yesterday?
Be honest.
Cowboy Nation, you're going to have to forgive me on this one. I cannot tell a lie. As ecstatic as I am, as drained as I am by what I witnessed, the shock of it, the ecstasy, it was one of the great moments in my history of watching my team since I was 10 years old. When I woke up this morning, I was a little more discouraged than encouraged because it's hard to find anything to love about what happened except the final score.
Correct.
I'm looking for metallic silver linings. But in the end, all I know for sure is it was the all-time mental blunder by not 2 or 3 Falcons, 5 Falcons. They surround the football. It's doing its little whirly gig, and it's like they were hypnotized watching it go 10 yards, curve toward the 10-yard mark.
Goodness.
I've never seen anything like it in my life, but I'd never seen a kicker set the ball on its side and barely touch it to make it spin clockwise this direction and break toward the marker.
Right.
Okay, so here, what do I see? My team did win the second half 30-10.
Right.
That's pretty good.
Pretty good.
My defense occasionally hung in and made a stop and hold them to a field goal when you needed to hold them to a field goal. I had 2 undrafted tackles get thrown into the fire, into the starting lineup. One, a rookie undrafted from Texas Tech, another second-year undrafted from Indiana. And you know what? I think they held up. I think they did pretty well because Dak only went down 1 time. Did he have some rushers flying in his face? Okay, sure he did. But again, my quarterback's a warrior. But we know he's a warrior. It's what he does. He's at his greatest when all appears lost. But how great was he a week ago Sunday night at L.A. in the second half? He wasn't very good.
Nope.
He was 1 for 8 on the offense, 1 for 8 on third down, and he threw for a grand total of 79 yards in the second half at Rams. Yesterday, he threw for 312 in the second half, second only to his 329 in the second half last year against Green Bay at home when they fell behind 31-3. It's what he does. He led the whole National Football League last year in second half yards passing, and it wasn't even close, mainly because they got behind so much. He was great trying to throw them back into the game, and they went 8-8.
Right.
Somehow, they stole that game yesterday, and it makes me happy because I saw CeeDee Lamb start to emerge. I'm not saying he took the game over, but you could see what I've been talking about, right? And by the way, after losing Blake Jarwin in the opener, which I thought was a crushing blow, I used to call him Shannon Jarwin because he had some monster game last year. All of a sudden, a 4th-round kid, Dalton Schultz, who's barely done anything for this team, he was back in he was the 2018 draft, so he hadn't done very much, but he gets thrown into the fire, and he gets the most targets and the most catches yesterday. He also fumbled. So in the first 8 minutes of the game, how am I supposed to like the fact that my team fumbled 4 times and lost 3? When have you ever seen that in your life?
No.
4 fumbles in the first 8 minutes of the game? It's hard to do, man.
Right.
It shows you were not ready to play. The new head coach did not get you ready to play. So the new head coach has the guts to go for it from punt formation twice, and they run 2 pretty stupid plays to me, and they fail both times.
Right.
And then the new head coach goes for it for 2 with 5:03 left, when I think you can argue it's good. It's okay to go for it there if you score.
Right.
You better make the 2-point conversion. And I didn't love the play call.
I just believe in that situation. You take the PAT. You're down 8. You know exactly, because if you like you said, you miss this, you're down 9. There is no 9-point plays.
It's over.
Yes. Yes.
And I thought it was over.
Yes. So did I.
So in the end, what am I supposed to think about a defense? What was my issue with it all last year? Does not force turnovers.
Nope.
It forced 0 yesterday. You want to give your stat again? It's the all-time greatest stat ever.
Since 1933, when they first started tracking turnovers, teams that scored at least 39 points with 0 turnovers were 440-0.
And 0. And now they're 440-1, thanks to Dan Quinn.
The Falcons are one of a lot of things. No team had ever come more than a 10-point deficit in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Except one.
Right.
One.
So as happy as I was, do I see progress on defense? Not really.
Not really.
Did I see Aldon Smith take the game over like I thought he was at Rams? No. He had 5 tackles, 2 solos.
Skip. You keep mentioning Aldon Smith. Aldon Smith has been out of football for 5 years.
Yep.
When is DeMarcus Lawrence? When are you going to mention his name? Skip, he's making $21 million. I did not even know he played yesterday. Did he get hurt? I don't know.
I'm looking. I don't know.
Skip, that's ridiculous, Skip. For $21 million?
You know what? That's a good point. I forgot about him yesterday because they never called his name. I don't know. Okay, so they sacked Matt Ryan one time with 4 minutes left in the game after he'd scored 39 points. Is that good?
No.
No, it's not good. So guess where they have to go now? They get to go all the way up to Seattle. And again, there's no 12th man in the stands. But still, you saw what Russell Wilson did last night to the Patriots and did to the Falcons.
And he got some receivers. Metcalf, Moore, Lockett. Skip, they can play.
They can play. Hey, Metcalf was beasting on Stephon Gilmore.
Yeah. Hey, Skip, I got to agree with you. I mean, they should be very discouraged. They really should be 0-2, but they got gifted a victory, so they're 1-1. But when I look at their defense, Skip, am I pleased? We're back to where we are. We're not getting really turnovers. We're not pressuring the quarterback, and you gave up 39. You gave up 39 points. Yeah, you could have given up more. And then the question is, Skip, and then you said those young guys, those tackles held up. But what happens when you're in a close ball game and people are not going to let you nickel and dime your way and they bring pressure on you?
Yeah.
Because they really didn't bring pressure because they said, look, we got a 20-point lead. Let's just make them nickel and dime their way. We'll play base deep. We'll play 4 guys. But when you get in a close ball game, you're down 7 or you're up 3. Teams are going to come get Dak.
They will.
And can those tackles hold up in that situation? So looking at it from the first 2 games, I would be very discouraged because I haven't seen what I thought I would see at this point. And granted, it's early in the season, but it's early in the season for Baltimore. And they look picked right up where they left off. It's early in the season for Buffalo, and Josh Allen is wheeling and dealing.
He is.
And there are some teams that it's early in the season for a lot of teams, and they look a lot better than. And considering the Cowboys, because they're so talented, you look at the offensive line, and you look at the wide receivers, and yada yada yada. So if I'm the Cowboys, I would be discouraged. I'm pleased I got a victory, but I'm like, okay, guys, we're going to start to see more. We'll see a lot more next week.
But at least I'm less discouraged than an Eagles fan.
Man, whatever.
Carson Wentz, W-I-N-C-E, because I wince every time I see the lowlights of his performance because he's throwing a lot of picks and losing a lot of fumbles.
It was bad yesterday, and the ball's starting to come out. Every time he hits the ground, the ball's coming out. That's not good.
Nope. So the Cowboys have like a 5-game lead now.
It feels like it.
Right?
It really feels like it. Washington, the football team, should be in first place in that division, and the Giants, the Cowboys, and the Eagles all should be 0-2.
And I'm sorry about Saquon from my heart. I'm knocking on wood for his recovery, but still, that takes what heart there is out of the Giants.
Yeah, it goes. Well, it's going to be.
So many injuries yesterday, too. And I know that you come to expect it, but it felt like the list just went on, which is the hardest part about the game that we all love, guys. Shannon, I'm going to need your thoughts on this next one because LeBron, pretty vocal about being passed over for MVP. Oh, really? He should have been? Okay, all right. Explain after the break.